Have you ever had a quiet moment? Maybe while watching the sunrise or listening to rain, when everything felt strangely still, even if only for a breath. A moment when the noise in your mind faded and something deeper, quieter began to shine through. Most of us dismiss these moments. We think they're random, fleeting, maybe even accidental. But what if they're not? What if those moments are glimpses of something far more real than the stories we tell ourselves all day long? Zen doesn't ask you to believe in anything. It doesn't require you to change your personality, follow a guru, or memorize ancient texts. Instead, it invites you into something astonishingly simple. The possibility that you are already free, but you've forgotten how to notice. That your true self isn't buried in the future, but hiding in plain sight. This isn't a journey of becoming. It's a journey of remembering, of returning to the quiet space within you that has never been disturbed, not even by the storms of life. Are you ready to look inward and rediscover what's always been waiting? The core of Zen. Observing the mind directly, seeing through illusion, and reconnecting with innate awareness. Imagine sitting by a river. The water flows continuously, sometimes gently, sometimes in torrents. Leaves float past, twigs, clouds reflected in the surface. You watch, silently. You don't try to stop the river. You don't reach for the leaves. You simply sit and observe. This is the essence of Zen. At its core, Zen does not ask you to become someone new. It doesn't instruct you to fix yourself or add layers of philosophy to your life. Instead, it offers a simple but radical invitation. Come home. Sit down. Watch your mind the way you'd watch that river, not as an enemy, not as a problem to solve, but as a process to witness with deep curiosity. Thoughts come and go. Emotions rise and fade. Stories spin and dissolve. But you are not those stories. You are not those thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. Quiet, steady, spacious. Zen doesn't give you answers in words. It points beyond words, beyond concepts, beyond the noise. It asks you to return to what is already here. The breath moving in and out, the body resting on the earth, the silence between thoughts. A Zen master once said, "The true miracle is not walking on water or in the air, but simply walking on this earth." The core of Zen is this miracle, to be fully present for your life, exactly as it is, not in search of perfection, not in pursuit of enlightenment as a prize, but in intimate contact with the moment unfolding right now. When we stop trying to fix the mind and instead begin to see through it, something shifts. A softness appears. The need to control fades, and what remains is clarity. Not dramatic or dazzling, but grounded, simple, and alive. Zen is not far away. It's not hidden in temples or sacred texts. It's in your next breath, in the stillness beneath your rushing thoughts, in the act of simply noticing. This, just this, is enough. Non-judgment and non-attachment, dropping labels of good and bad, living with openness and flexibility, like the farmer who always said, maybe. A farmer once had a horse. One day, the horse ran away. The neighbors came to express their sympathy. What terrible luck. The farmer simply replied, maybe. The next day, the horse returned, bringing with it 3 wild horses. The neighbors exclaimed, "What wonderful fortune." The farmer said again, "Maybe." Later, the farmer's son tried to tame one of the wild horses. He was thrown off and broke his leg. The neighbors lamented, "How awful." The farmer answered, Maybe. Soon after, soldiers arrived in the village to recruit young men for war. Seeing the son's broken leg, they passed him by. "What a blessing," the neighbors said. "Maybe," said the farmer. This story is not just a fable. It's a mirror held up to the way we live, constantly judging, labeling, and reacting to life, as if we truly know what each moment means. But how much do we really see? Zen asks us to loosen our grip on these snap judgments, to pause before rushing to define an event as good or bad. Because often, our perspective is too narrow, too caught in the moment, too wrapped in our expectations to see the full unfolding. When we practice non-judgment, we open ourselves to possibility. When we stop needing everything to go our way, we begin to discover a subtler, steadier kind of peace, one that isn't shaken by the shifting tides of fortune and loss. Non-attachment doesn't mean indifference. It doesn't mean suppressing joy or avoiding pain. It means meeting life without clinging or resisting. It means letting experiences pass through us without trying to possess them or push them away. Imagine holding sand in your palm. If you squeeze tightly, it slips through your fingers. But if you keep your hand open, it rests there lightly. Life is like that. It stays longer when you stop trying to hold it so hard. When we stop defining every event by how it serves our preferences, we begin to taste freedom. The kind that isn't based on outcomes, but on presence. The kind that says, "I may not know what this means yet, and that's okay. Just be here. Just breathe. Let it be what it is." Zen and emotions. The visitors within, Kam Shuts La Kach, Kong Pai Chu, Hok Kach Chao Jon, Quan Sat Va Buong Cha. A student once came to his teacher, frustrated and ashamed. "Master," he said, "I keep feeling anger. Even after years of meditation, it still rises. I thought I was past this." The teacher smiled gently. "Show me this anger." The student hesitated. "Well, it's not here right now." "Ah," said the teacher, "then it cannot be your true self. If it were truly you, it would never leave." In Zen, we don't try to banish emotions. We don't pretend we've transcended them. We welcome them, not as enemies to be suppressed, nor as rulers to be obeyed, but simply as guests, temporary, impermanent, not who we are. When anger, sadness, fear, or restlessness appear, we invite them in for tea. We notice their shape, their temperature, the way they move through the body, and we watch, not to fix or control, but to understand. The mistake we often make is identification. I am angry, I am anxious, I am broken. But Zen offers a shift. Anger is arising. Anxiety is visiting. A thought is passing through. Just like clouds drifting across a wide, open sky, these inner storms do not define the sky itself. In this space of awareness, something softens. You no longer need to fight the emotion, nor be swept away by it. You simply stay present, breathing, watching, letting it rise, letting it fall. It takes courage to sit with uncomfortable emotions, but over time, they begin to reveal their nature. Often beneath anger is hurt. Beneath fear is a longing to feel safe. Beneath grief is love that had nowhere to go. Zen doesn't offer shortcuts through pain. Instead, it gives us the tools to hold pain gently, with clarity, with kindness, and without judgment. You are not your anger. You are not your grief. You are the vast awareness that holds it all. Patiently, quietly, like the sky holding every storm and every beam of sunlight alike. Let them come. Let them stay a while, let them go, and stay with yourself, steady, watching, free. A new perspective on suffering and change. The second arrow is resistance. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. A Zen master once asked his student, "If someone is struck by an arrow, is it painful?" "Yes," the student replied. "And if they are struck by a second arrow in the exact same spot, is it more painful?" "Of course," the student said. The master nodded. The first arrow is life. The second is how we react to it. In the Zen tradition, pain is seen as inevitable. It is a part of being human. We all experience loss, illness, disappointment, and aging. But suffering is something else. Suffering is the story we build on top of pain. It's the internal resistance, the mental script. This shouldn't be happening. Why me? I can't bear this. Zen invites us to meet pain with presence, to stop shooting ourselves with the second arrow. When discomfort arises, we often tense up. We fight it. We spiral into thoughts, imagining worst-case scenarios or clinging to how things used to be. But this reactivity only intensifies the experience. Like splashing in muddy water, the more we thrash, the murkier it becomes. Instead, Zen teaches us to be still, to allow, to feel without drowning. When pain comes, we breathe, we notice, we create space around it, as if giving it room to breathe too. And in that space, something changes. The grip loosens, the suffering softens. Change, like pain, is also inevitable. Yet we often cling to the familiar, even when it no longer serves us. We fear uncertainty. We resist the falling away of what once felt solid. But Zen reminds us, everything is impermanent, like a teacup already broken, like autumn leaves already on their way to the earth. Change is not a failure. It's the nature of all things. Freedom begins not when everything is under control, but when we stop trying to control what cannot be held. We learn to flow, like water around a stone, not passive but yielding with wisdom. When we stop resisting pain and change, we begin to live with more grace. We suffer less not because life becomes easier, but because we've learned how to meet it, fully, honestly, and without fear. Impermanence and no self. Everything is in flux. The self is not fixed, like a wave inseparable from the ocean. A student once asked a Zen master, "What is the self?" The master replied, "The self is like a river, always moving, always changing. Try to grasp it, and it slips through your fingers." In our daily lives, we often speak as if we are fixed. This is who I am. That's just how I've always been. But Zen gently challenges this idea. Look closely. Are you truly the same person you were 5 years ago? Last year? Even this morning? The truth is, everything is changing. The body ages, emotions shift, thoughts come and go, relationships evolve. Even the cells in your body are in constant renewal. What we call the self is not a solid object. It's more like a swirl of wind, always in motion, always depending on countless conditions. This is the teaching of impermanence. Nothing stays. Nothing can be held forever. And this isn't meant to make us sad. It's meant to wake us up. When we understand impermanence deeply, we stop clinging so tightly. We cherish moments because we know they won't last. We love without needing to possess. We live more fully because we know every breath is borrowed. Alongside impermanence is the teaching of no self, or anatta. It doesn't mean we don't exist. It means we don't exist in the way we think we do. There is no permanent, unchanging I inside us. What we call me is a collection of sensations, thoughts, memories, habits, all arising and fading like waves in the sea. Zen invites us to stop trying to define ourselves and instead experience ourselves, not as a fixed identity, but as presence, as life happening. When we release the illusion of a separate self, a strange thing happens. Compassion deepens. We see others not as them, but as reflections of the same flowing life we're part of. The boundary softens. The heart opens. You are not a noun. You are a verb. You are not a thing, but a process. Breathing, changing, connected. Like a wave, you rise, and like a wave, you return. Not gone, but merged again with the vast ocean that was always home. What if freedom isn't something we have to earn, but something we simply forgot? In each story, Zen offers us a quiet, radical truth. We are not our thoughts, not our fears, not even the version of ourselves we've grown used to carrying. We are the space that holds it all, fluid, formless, aware. When we see clearly, we no longer have to fight life or ourselves. We no longer need to define every moment, fix every emotion, or cling to every identity. Impermanence teaches us to let go. No self teaches us to stop clinging. And Zen teaches us how to sit gently with it all, with pain and joy, with confusion and clarity, like the sky holds every kind of weather. This is not the end of the path, but perhaps it is the beginning of a return, not to someone new, but to the original stillness that has always been here. So breathe, let go, and come home to yourself.